What's up, everybody? Circus here coming at you with the new and improved power rankings.
Whoa, 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 whoa,
Are they any better?
whoa.
No, but they're gonna look better, even though it's the same old meta. How you doing, Kamel?
I am doing great. Glad to be here. Hope everyone had a great Casey Cup weekend.
I hope you didn't get burnt out trying to play 700 games over the weekend.
Yeah, I hope you didn't, so you can enjoy some tournaments
That's right.
this week.
Tournaments were a little light this week, though. That's the only
Yes,
problem.
as usual, because we always take a break during Casey Cup, so we don't have tournaments going on. Not sure about everyone else. We'll see when we get
Yep.
into the tournament list.
All right. So if you're new to what we do here, each week we track decks as they're played in tournaments around the community, and then we rank them based on how they finish. So if a deck gets a first place finish, it gets 6 points. A second place finish is 4 points. Top four is 2 points, and a top eight is a single point.
That's right, Circus. And to keep the power rankings consistent, all of the tournaments we track have to have the same format, that being rounds of Swiss into a top cut, and the deck format being one deck and a 7 card side deck, which you can side skills in. And the tournaments that met that criteria this week. What the heck? There's only 5 tournaments. What do you mean? There's
Well,
only
we even
five
held like two
tournaments.
meme tournaments this week. Did you know that? Instead of like
Yeah,
regular
that's true.
tournaments.
Tuesday and Wednesday. That's
Yeah.
weird. We never did that before. We did a 2 meme tournaments this week.
Yep.
So
Well,
wow.
it's because people are tired of this meta, and so we're offering, like, hey, instead of just getting burnt out playing Blue Eyes Dark Lords, let's have some meme tournaments. So it's a little light this week, a little light, but we do this every week no matter what, right?
Yes, and in case you guys are wondering, the reason why the meta series is not here is because the week of Casey Cup they do one deck format, and that's not what the power rankings covers.
Right. And in case you're wondering, this is for the week of 411 through 417. All right, so let's take a look at number 3. All right, coming in at number 3 once again, and yes, there's only 3 decks worth looking at this week, is Automats. They did get a tournament victory with our boy Kamel casting the whole thing. So how was that?
Yeah, so I kind of have some added insight in automats. Oh man, the amount of spot destruction that they run in their deck really comes into handy if the other decks in the meta, like Sticking Chair Dark Lords and Blue Eyes, are unable to totally oppress them in their first turn. Even monsters get their effects negated, other things like that. Automats are still able to get one monster out, got bold. Or offerings, it's okay. It can sacrifice the draw because of automata play. They have an extreme amount of comeback play when they are given the smallest amount of leeway. And I think they have great matchups into the other decks if given the opportunity to play.
I'd like to see what this deck's going to be like post ban list. Is this the next deck that people are going
Yes,
to be complaining about?
I would definitely keep my eyes out. The other 2 decks are extremely oppressive, and they're kind of like keeping everything else down. But Automats is truly a, a great and consistent deck right now. But after Banless, I don't think Automats is going to be the forefront of it. So look into this after the Banless for sure.
All right, let's be honest here. We all know what the top 2 decks
Yeah.
are, right? So
So it's 50-50 flip a coin. What do you think it's
right,
going to
right.
be, guys?
It's been back and forth the past month. So let's take a look at the runner-up, number 2 this week. All right, there you go. Second place this week, Blue Eyes. Look at that representation. Still over 100 people playing it, and there was only 5 tournaments. And that's over 20 people.
Sun had like 80 people, dude. Like, oh my gosh.
That means
The
20,
numbers were slim.
20 people out of that 80 were playing
Dude,
Blue Eyes. That's
oh, man.
crazy. That's
Well,
crazy.
Blue Eyes, they won 2 weeks back to back now
Yep.
over Sticky Chair Dark Lords. And what are you gonna say, right? This deck is extremely weird. This is the only tournament winning list for Blue Eyes this week, and they are running one of each generic back row, including one Book of Moon, even.
Yep. Because why not?
Because why not? That's true. And they're playing the Dragulon, which just makes it easier. Which just gives you easier ways to get blue eyes on the field afterwards, so you can secure lethal if Heliopolis is not going to be your
Mhm.
optimal rank 8 play. But yeah, not all too much changing for blue eyes. Saw a lot of bricks for blue eyes this week, a lot. I think that is what is becoming their main issue uh,
That's always
in the
been their
meta.
main issue
Automats
since
don't
the
break,
beginning
Star
of
Lords don't break, blue eyes break.
Blue Eyes. That's been their thing, though.
Yeah, and it hadn't been a problem so much before, but now the other decks are proving that they are nearing the same level, if not at the same level as Blue Eyes. That being Automat. So the fact that Blue Eyes is the only one of these decks that
The
don't
other
open
decks,
optimally,
the other two decks in the meta. Oh, I love
you
it.
know. So
All right.
we'll see.
Well,
I think
I wonder what number one could be this week, Kamel. Should we find out? I bet it's a surprise for everybody.
Yo, St. Juice, let's go.
And surprise, surprise, coming in at number one this week is Dark Lords. Now, there is going to be some questions. Now, there are quote unquote two versions of the deck right now, which I really don't think is two versions of the deck. There's this version that you see here where they're playing Levianeer. Then there's an exact version of the deck where the only card difference is they're playing FA Mock in there. So to me, it's pretty much the same deck. Just the boss monster is different, I guess, right? So to me,
Funnily enough, right? I think that people are not running FA Mock because it is just like, or should I say that it is not used like over the vast majority
mhm.
of the Dark Lord decks, is because it just does not work against everything. If you've ever main decked FA Mock and against automats have probably like 7 cards in their main deck that can remove Mock from the field, and if you've used your skill level augmentation, that's done. That's over with. Gaga Bolt, Offerings, Treacherous, all of these things can remove that card extremely easy. It's truly only useful to lock down Blue Eyes. And now even Blue Eyes are taking things into account to remove it. We saw that Blue Eyes list earlier, playing a bunch of different back row, all of which can deal with the Hang On Mock specifically. So I don't think it's really necessary. So this is what I really think is going to
Well,
be.
there were 8 points scored with the FA Mock. So I thought this deck is close enough that you could call them the same decks. Otherwise, Dark Lord still would have won with 17 points over Blue Eyes. It would still have been
Yeah.
first place, but they scored like an additional 7 or 8 points. But to me, one card difference doesn't make a totally different deck.
I think it's a good option for the
Mhm.
deck. Definitely not a deck in its own, for sure. It's just like a tech choice that you can just choose on main decking, whatever.
Now, if it was like 3 different cards or 4 different cards or something in the deck, but one single card to me wasn't enough. But here we go, Dark Lords again, back at the top.
Yeah. One last thing. This
Yes.
week really saw in Battlefield Rising Sun specifically the importance of the Dark Lord engine in this deck, and how it's really gonna matter. The ban list. Really gonna have to destroy the Dark Lord engine, and that's gonna really hurt this deck. I think
That's going to be the
what it's saying.
deciding factor, but we'll see if Konami's brave enough to do that. All right, let's look at the at a glance kind of stuff here. So overall representation this week, Blue Eyes on top. Then look at that Automats. Look at Stick and Chair Dark Lords, only
Jeez.
32. Wait till you see the conversion rates on that. It's absolutely crazy. But as you can see, there's pretty much 3 decks right now. Harpies, people are playing them. They're just not getting anywhere with them. That's the problem with that
Yeah, I
deck.
kind of predicted that for Harpies. The deck is just too one-dimensional, not doing
Yep.
enough.
All right, and then we'll look at those top 8 conversion rates here. Dark Lords with 19%. That's
Wow,
crazy.
Harpies did have a very good conversion rate, though.
They just couldn't get any wins. Yep. Top 8 finishes. Blue Eyes, of course, but Dark Lords with the more tournament victories. And then the overall scores for this week, not too great. There are decks below Desperado, but they all have 1 point, so
Mhm.
I didn't think they were
Even a
worth
lot in
mentioning.
Fire King, just they're maintaining their spot. Harpies. I'm disappointed. people really did not make it work this
They
week.
have like I don't know. It seems like against Blue Eyes it can be 50-50, maybe
Mhm.
60-40 for Blue Eyes, but Dark Lords can be pretty tough. I mean, they got two really hard matchups.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
one boss monster on the field, and it is just so easy to play around, with all
right.
the other tier decks or meta decks. None of them really strictly rely on spell and traps to get their combos off. So, Harpy Lady, you kind of have to rely on your own stuff to do it.
Well, like Dark Lords have the negate on the field, and when you it's hard for Harpies to play around or through that. I mean, you can, but it's just not as effective as you'd want it to be, especially if they can do it twice on one turn,
Yeah, for
you
sure.
know. So, all right, and that's the overall scores, and then why everybody's here. Actually, we already know. Here's the tier list. Wah,
Yep,
wah,
I agree.
wah. Now, Evil Eye did get a win this week, but I didn't think that was enough to make it a tier 3 deck. Personally, that's my opinion, but I looked at the data and Evil Eye, I would say over the past month is a good meta choice because it can go into Blue Eyes, but statistically, I don't think it's a tier 3 deck. It just happened to get a win this week, so.
Right? Yeah, it is kind of like it is kind of like an anti Blue Eyes. Unfortunately, that is what it is. It does not. Its gameplay loop is not effective against Onomats or Dark Lords, so it's only into the meta is versus Blue Eyes, I believe. So talk about more on Evil Eye on the Rogue deck roundup,
Yep,
but
of course.
definitely Onomats they are performing on that tier 3 level. So yeah, I think they do deserve that.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the new look and feel of the power rankings. I like the manga
Yeah.
look to it, don't you? I like
Let
that.
us know what you think.
Yeah.
We sure love it.
All right. Let us know what you think, like Kamel said, in the comments below. We're gonna get out of here, but you should get in the Discord. Why? Because it's free, the tournaments are free, the new player help is free, all that kind of stuff. So I hope you did enjoy it. We'll see you next time. I'm Circus. That's Kamel.
Peace out.
All right. See ya.